college and career success. Welcome to week 2. We made it through the first week. I hope that you are getting acclimated to not only your online classes, but for anyone who's taking face-to-face classes on any of the campuses, that you are just figuring out where to go and what to do. So as a quick reminder, the Start Here folder is always going to be open. You can always come back and refresh your memory on the welcome videos so that you can revisit, if needed, any of the beginning of the semester info, as well as all of the other, syllabi and calendar, and all of that is in there. So we're going to go ahead and jump down to the lessons. So at this point, when you're watching this video, week 1 will be closed. As a reminder though, I do reopen weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 toward the end of the semester. So if you missed any work from early in the semester because you enrolled late, you just weren't getting the hang of Brightspace, whatever the case is, look for those announcements toward the end of the semester so that you can make up any points you may have missed early on. So let's go ahead and look at week 2. I will have the chapter 1 lecture video. We're in a full chapter this week. So chapter 1 lecture video is uploaded there. So take a look at that. This is where your assignment video will go. And then here is a sneak peek at week 2. And we're going to take a look and then start digging into the assignments themselves. So in week 2, you are going to be in chapter 1. So I encourage you to either watch the video I referenced up here, or get into the materials folder and open up the slides for the chapter. Here's the chapter link. You can take a look through here. Remember, you can click through the different sections of the text. You can also look through the slides if you prefer to do it that way. And then there are a couple resource videos. So I encourage you to interact with the chapter somehow, whether it's through the lecture video, the slides, or the chapter link itself, just so you have a good understanding of the content and then the basis for the assignments. Speaking of the assignments, let's look again at the recap. You have, very similar to last week, you have a chapter discussion forum. Your original response is due by Wednesday for weekly attendance. So remember that you have to post by Wednesday to get full 100% attendance points. And then you responded to classmates by Sunday. Your post and your responses together get points for the assignments. Remember, you're getting graded almost twice on these discussion forums. But for weekly attendance, post by Wednesday. Even if you missed that date, go ahead and post late because you can still get partial attendance. You have 2 chapter 1 assignments, both due on Sunday, and a chapter 1 quiz due Sunday as well. So I'm going to walk you through all of these. So down here in the assignment folder, let's go ahead and open the chapter 1 discussion prompt. When you click there, you're going to see the prompt itself, and this is pretty straightforward. Remember, you need to have about 150 words or more. If you are significantly under, you're going to see points taken off. But if you're not that far off, I'm not going to take anything off for that. So the prompt is, what will completing a degree do for you in light of your dream job? So, you're going to school for your associate degree in business or whatever it is. What is that degree going to do for you eventually in the field, the career path you want to go into? And then what will earning a degree mean to you and your family? So maybe you are a first-generation college student, which means you're the first in your family to go to college. Maybe you're a CCP student, so you're going to get your college degree while you get your high school degree. Maybe you have children and you're setting an example for them. Whatever the case is, what will earning a degree mean to you, as well as to maybe your family and your friends? And to remember to post, you just click on the name of the prompt, and then you will hit Start New Thread and go ahead and put your response in there. Remember to post that by Wednesday at 11:59 for your full week 2 attendance, and then responded to classmates by Sunday. All right, let's look at your assignments. The first one right here, this is just going to be an assignment where you can open up a Word doc and type your answers, or you can just type in the comment area. Either way, I can grade it. As you can see down here, it's file or text. So whatever is most comfortable to you. It's just 4 questions, and you're going to approach them differently based on if you are a current CCP student or a traditional college student, meaning you've already finished your high school education. So question 1, how far do you want to live from your hometown, and will you be able to drive or fly? So for those of you in high school, maybe you're thinking about where you want to go after you leave here, what you want to do, how far do you want to live, and then will you be able to drive or fly? When you made the decision to come to Stark State, did the location make any kind of factor in that decision making? So question 1, based on maybe you're transferring, if you're making the decision coming up, how you made the decision you landed on now. Question 2, what extracurriculars are you interested in? What clubs or organizations do you currently participate in that you want to continue? So I want to direct your attention for this, and I kind of referenced this page before, under info for current students. We do have a whole list of student clubs here, so you can take a look and see if there's anything that looks interesting to you, whether it is major related or just for fun. We have, Criminal Justice Association, but then we also have Outdoor Adventure Club. So there's a mix of things for majors as well as just for fun. So are there any type of organizations that you'd want to join? If you transfer to another institution, are there sports or clubs that you want to continue in that way? Question 3, this talks about the size of the institution. So if you're deciding, to transfer or go to another institution, what kind of size are you looking at? Large or small, the high versus low student teacher ratio. If you decided on Sauk State, this is your final destination, if you will, then did the size of the institution make a difference? And then question 4, create a list of 10 colleges or universities that you're interested in attending after high school. So if you are a CCP student, if you are looking at attending a different institution, what might those options be? If you are thinking of transferring, where might you be transferring? And then if you were trying to decide between Sauk State and other institutions, like where did you kind of choose from? Did you have a list of other options? So again, how you approach these questions will be based differently on if you are a current high school student versus if you're a traditional high school student, or traditional college student. So you can type your response or you can upload it into a document. Okay, the second chapter 1 assignment, this is going to open up into a PDF in which you can type in. So you'll get it up here. And this is going to be the differences between high school and college. So on this left-hand side, you're going to have a whole column full of information that is generally true for high school, things that are going to take place in high school. On the right-hand side, you are going to plug in what is true for college. So how is it different from high school to college? And so you would just start typing whatever you're going to put. And if you're not sure, because maybe you are a current high school student, or maybe it's been a little while since you've been in high school, that's what chapter 1 talks about. So you can go in and kind of look at some of that information. Whenever you've filled out all of the boxes here, just make sure you save it with your changes, because if not, you're going to upload to me a blank document. So make sure you save it with your changes and drop it into the Dropbox in here. There will be a Dropbox on your screen. You can see file submissions. That means you're going to have to drop it through that file. And then finally, your chapter 1 quiz. This is your first quiz. It is a Word doc. So that's why I said this is really important. If you don't have Microsoft Office, Microsoft Suite in general, to download it and get it free. It's back on our announcement page, but I really do recommend that you get it. It's just so much easier for everything here as well as other classes to have that Microsoft Suite. All right, so it's going to open up here. So as a reminder, moving forward, every single quiz is going to look very similar. You have 2 to 5 sentences that you need to respond to every question. There's only going to be 5 questions. And so you're going to use a combination of what the textbook is saying versus maybe your own experience and kind of merge it together. The key is make sure you answer all parts of every question and do it in 2 to 5 complete sentences. So question 1 is asking about motivation. Knowing why you're in college is important for motivation, and especially when you face like adversity, obstacles. What can you do now to design a plan to remember your purpose for attending college? Like, what kind of things will you do to keep your motivation going even when things are starting to get tough or you're just like, I can't do this anymore? Question 2, you have faced many transitions in your life. So you have some experience navigating change. That could be like middle school to high school to college, single to married, childless to child, whatever the case is. Lots of transitions we go through. So based on previous experiences, how would you manage those transitions? What went well? What could you have done differently? How can you use that to transition to college? Question 3, if your first few grades in college are lower than expected, what could you do to move forward? And then consider emotional, academic, and intellectual. Our chapter talks about each of those areas. So how can you move forward considering each of those components of ourselves? Question 4, this kind of connects back to the assignment we were just referencing. You have read about high school versus college, as well as adjustments and challenges. Given all of this, how would you evaluate whether a student has successfully transitioned to college, and how would you judge that? What criteria would you use? How would you know that someone is doing well in college from high school or from taking a big break away? And then finally, several aspects of this textbook talk about self-awareness. Why do you think it's important to become more self-aware? How will you use this to support your development of greater self-awareness? All right, so that is your chapter 1 quiz. Make sure you respond to every question in 2 to 5 complete sentences. Save it, and then you will also upload that into the Dropbox, as you can say, file submission. All right, so real quick recap. For week 2, you are spending time in chapter 1, whether it's looking at the video, reading the slides, the text. You're going to post your original response in the chapter 1 discussion forum about, your career and your degree by Wednesday, responded to classmates by Sunday. And then your chapter 1 assignment, both on like your 4 questions, your college and expectations, your chapter 1 assignment on high school versus college, and then your chapter 1 quiz are all due by Sunday as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and have a great week.